Hello everyone, so it's Richard here from Universus. Doing a bit of a YouTube intro here. So yeah, we're just going to collect 3 boxes this evening. So that is half of the case that I picked up because I've got to leave some of the boxes for the boy to open. Oh god, yes, hello YouTube. My monitor has taken up half of my face. I've realised just because I've had to balance all my webcam and stuff up there. But yeah, so we'll get started. So we'll put these to one side. I get started with this. So yeah, what we're looking for: chromes, obviously, sweeping daggers, obviously, and then all the other cool stuff. Ideally, if I don't get chrome, then we'll get an alt art Percy, because Percy's the one I'm most excited for. So we start off with a Briarwoods character. Obviously, I'll try and make sure we're not getting too much glare and stuff going on. But yeah, I really like these being the box toppers, and I hope that's something they continue with going forward. Like I think having the bosses as box toppers is like just a really cool idea. So let's get all these out of here. And then pop this over to one side. Oh, we'll pop it over here, why not? So we can pop everything in. No, that's... Sorry, just in order to organise everything on my desk so I can actually get the camera set up. It's a little playing space, but yeah. So, let's get cracking. So, yeah, thank you. So, obviously, talking of chromes, my local Harry obviously opened his normal, at least 1 chrome per set. Hopefully the focus works itself out on this. So we'll start going through the commons and uncommons. And we start with an ultra rare Cabal's Ruin. Nice. So that's one of the good ones. I really like this one, just in Percy and other sort of inventors and thieves. Just -1 speed and everything is just really solid. So yeah, start with a nice ultra rare. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much through the commons and uncommons and all that stuff, just because. Right, let me just keep the bin open right next to myself. Don't make too much of a mess. There we go. Just because we'll have all seen them by now. So yeah, this is stuff I also picked up from my local LGS this evening. So yeah, this is a good one for probably some Shoto 4 action. Obviously, I don't know still how I feel about backups in terms of deck building, but I think they're a cool idea. That's a nice one. We've got a Mollymock and a Channeling Spell Seal. This is decent. It's just passing on 1/1, and then if it deals damage, draw a card is nice. The static on it, if you're all about the Sack Seals, their block made my Airy Smiles earlier this evening at locals be very sad. But then we've got some Throat Slitter. This is a good one. It's getting effectively a card out of them either way, right? They discard a card. If they block it, it gets 2 cards. So or they take 5, possibly with some extra from the powerful, and then they get that card back. But it's either guaranteed damage or you're getting 2 cards out of them on the turn. So really strong if you're playing that sort of void discard type package. Just a very strong uncommon. Imprison Noble was very good in the character I played this evening, Nick Reagan one. Nick Reagan one's crazy and a lot of fun. So tarot reading, it's nice to have Destiny Information Success back in the format. So we've got Caduceus, and then we've got our No Mercy Percy. So I think that might be number 4 of those for me, but this card's brutal, especially in Percy. Just being a 5 mid-6 and a 5 is good stats. It being Echo is very nice, so you want to be leading in effect, hopefully with something, either you generate momentum or you're leading in with a dual needle lunge. It draws you a card, shuffles in maybe some of your casino bits if you're doing that sort of thing with Percy, and then just being able to remove multiple cards over the course of like either just the face of this or on like an echoed version, just debuilding your opponent so much, and even then it's got a 1 mid block as well. Like there's nothing not to like about this card. But yeah, we've started off pretty strong. So we've got 3 packs in and 3 ultra rares, so pretty good. No chrome yet, which is obviously disappointing, but we will see. We got our Vex. Obviously, she could do the silly thing with one of the backups to sort of, they block it. You put the thing into a card pool, pick it back up again, play it, build down your ally, and have that sort of loop. Keeping Alert is a nice rare. So, what was the Toru card whose name escapes me? Can't escape me, obviously. It sort of feels like a better version. That can't escape me was always something you really wanted to play to stop them drawing or adding cards. But like the remove costs always felt too steep. But this just being like a flip just feels so much nicer to include in your deck. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much over these. Obviously, we've got 3 boxes to crack through. There's all the commons, uncommons. K-Deb is cool. I don't know how good he is. And we've got a Rihanna. So, quite a nice little sort of utility backup of just flipping and unflipping, getting to reuse your what should have been once per games is quite nice. So we're taking the Tim Keefe approach of just sort of chatting about the odd card here and there rather than going through the entire booster pack. So what have we got here? We've got a Grog, and then we've got an Unyielding Rage. So yeah, this is okay, just sort of again in Rage counter decks. Dark Ward is very strong if you're playing a pack round, especially. Just like being able to cancel card pool responses and then losing your health for a speed is a decent rate. So, right. So yeah, start off with 3 ultra rares and then into 3 rares. So I think with the boxes that I've seen people open have been pretty standard in terms of their distribution. It's usually 6 ultras, a secret, an alt art, usually then an alt art character or an alt art secret, and then 1 alt art ultra rare. So again, Sean Gilmore, it's quite a nice effect, sort of a little bit of a replacement for Battle Arena. Vax is a character I've certainly been looking at building. And then Might of Stone. Might of Stone is a good one. Then we got our other 3. But yeah, like this can just be a big dunk in, especially if you think about characters like Byakko that are just flipping their entire stage. So if you get to a point where they can't block, you just discard a card and this is coming in for like 10, right? So quite a nice finish in sort of decks that are doing that thing. And even if not, if you're a character that's going to have spare cards, like that can just, again, it can be easily sort of like 8 to 10 damage, right? So yeah, some Koch Lightning. So we've got a Beauregard, and then we've got an extended back Roundhouse. So yeah, a nice bow card. Whether it's good enough to see play with the 2, I don't know, but it's certainly a cool one of just building all those face downs at the end of the turn. And then yeah, Shargari. So yes, we've got Zane in chat is my LGS owner, and obviously I played at locals this evening and didn't open my case because I obviously wanted to do it on stream, and also because I've got to let the boy open some as well. So with Radiant Visage, it's just nice to have some nice momentum hate. That's one thing this set's done well, is added a whole bunch of nice momentum hate into the format. Essek, the character we got to reveal on stream, and then Thieving Goblin Bolt is our rare. It's a nice one. Like, it's decently staggered for a 4 diff, like a 4 mid 5, and then like you getting to have a copy of their best foundation. Probably a bit too hit and miss maybe for a constructed, just because they're not necessarily always going to have stuff you want to copy, but that can be at least quite a fun card to be playing with. Obviously our sweeping daggers count is currently still at 0. So yeah, I think I've opened one box and a bunch of pre-release kits and a bunch of extra boosters, and yeah, 0 sweeping daggers so far, which obviously it seems to be the Chase Ultra Rare from this set. We've got Scanlan, and then we've got a Jaunty Trickster. Quite a nice one for sort of getting around breaker. So if you need to play something mid-string to get around a breaker, or if you're playing actions that don't have the non-progressive or clear themselves, quite a nice one for sort of doing that if you're doing the action thing. Nice to see a few flash attacks back in the set as well. I haven't been getting any of them recently. I've got a Jester. I'm not a big fan of Jester, but I've heard rumblings that she's actually a lot better than maybe I give credit for, but I remain to be convinced. Fortune's Favour. This card sort of almost single-handedly makes me want to build Davi 3. Will it actually be good? I don't know. I'm going to try it, but we'll see. And then we got the infinite keyword card of Tavern Brawl, which just it's just got all the keywords. Unassuming common, but I think might actually be playable, like in those sort of textile decks. Just a 4/6 generally is going to be solid. Like it's got some nice keywords, range attack and weapon, a reasonable off-zone block. So a card that certainly has found its way into some of my like, early builds of decks. We've got a Pike. I think Pike is good, but just very boring. Like, just the words on the character read as very boring, but I think she might be a lot better than it seems. Nonagon is very good, just sealing an attack with a sacrifice without any other cost. It's solid. Like, there's plenty of times just sealing an attack sort of ruins what they're doing. So yeah, just a very nice defensive piece on the Void symbol again. Like, the Void has plenty of ways of just stopping their attacks doing what they want to do, and Nonagon is just another part of that. Looks like we got something shiny. We've got Tarion. So this is a character that I don't know I'm personally a fan of, but obviously has a lot of strong words, and I think was like second on Tim Keefe, aka Satonis, top prospects list, which he often does at the beginnings of format. So certainly worth giving a check out. Go check out, like I say, CETORONIS. Go check out his channel. Like, yes, it's always a good watch whenever he does it, sort of every format. And then we've got Harness Undeath. So that's our secret rare for the box. I think this is one of the reasons to play backups. Like, this card is very strong. Like, it does a lot. And yeah, like this is the reason to play backups for me. Just a very strong secret rare. Just being able to sacrifice it to give it Echo. Like, it's a 4/4. You're burning them a lot, and you can then gain some health from it. So yeah, like Harness for me is the reason to be playing a backup style deck, and going to be one of the key pieces to making that work. We got a Ford. Oh, perfect. So this is the other card I'm looking for from the set, is Violent and Animus Shot. I need 4 of these. Again, one of those cards that just goes and it's been going in all of my decks, and I've got one alt art of it already. So now getting the second one, which I really, really like the alt arts in this set, means I'm basically forced into now getting a playset of the alt arts. But a very pretty card. I know sort of some people haven't been a fan of the alt arts, but I really like them. Try and get that a bit closer to the camera, get a better look. But yeah, this is a very shiny one, and the blitz on it is basically flavor text. But yeah, I really like the card. Like just it being a 4 high 5, 1 low breaker 1, and if it deals damage, they lose a card. It's got ranged tech and weapons, so some good keywords. So yeah, nothing not to like about that card. I've got a Scanlan and a Frozen Spray. Again, probably a solid maybe role player in a mage style deck. Obviously, so far we've not pulled the Chrome, so I might have to end up getting a refund from my locals. They did promise me one in the case, so I mean we'll see. But we've got another Ford, the Shoulder Toss as our rare. Nothing too exciting, just another sort of 4 diff throw that you can play in those brawler decks. It's going to be okay if you're in the market for more throws. Allura as a character I think is good. It's just making the how do you kill people on Allura. She's very sort of Toru 2-ish with that sealing the attack +3 to block, so you basically always have to block it. She can generate momentum out of the wazoo, but yeah, it's like how does Allura kill people? It's probably like Armor of the Wolf, things like this, but yeah, you just got to find a way of those stats and more defense. Crossfade. So the box topper was the Briarwoods that sat right here. That was the one in this one. We get a Titanstone Knuckles. So this was the one. Obviously, you were getting, I think, 6. So one of the vestiges. I really like the vestige assets in this set. I think they're all really cool. Like some of them are better than others, but I really like them. I like what they've done with them. They all feel powerful in their own way. So we've got a Pumat. Pumat's a character I've built, and I've yet to actually test that deck yet, but I really want to give it a go because I think he's cool. I don't know if he's good, but I think the character's cool and can do some really cool things. So definitely need to give that deck a try. But I really wanted to play Nick Reagan this evening, and Nick Reagan was a lot of fun. So Special Forces Elite. So this is, if you didn't know, a reprint from Mortal Kombat. Hence why that deadlock response doesn't have the word non-character on it. Things were different back in the day when characters were a little less sacred. And if you're playing text, this is a very strong one. They're not really allowed to go into deadlock, or else, that cancel gets turned on. And just a +1 speed and everything is just really nice. So a really solid card. But I do think I actually own. I think I own 4 of the Mortal Kombat one. Like, I'm not particularly a retro player. I got into the game from MHA1, but the boy really likes Mortal Kombat as an IP, so we've kind of gone out of my way to pick up a load of the Mortal Kombat stuff. Thanks to some of especially my Scottish buddies, have helped me out, sort of trading me and selling me stuff from their old Mortal Kombat collections. Percy's a character I've built, and obviously just doing boring Death to Roulette stuff, and has been a lot of fun, but I need to test more. Cleaving Swipe, probably an okay thing if you're playing like rage counter characters, but like Frenzy on a 5 diff is a bit of an odd one, just because you generally don't want to play 5 diffs later in a string, but Elemental Orb, I think, is just one of the coolest cards in the set, just from a flavor perspective. Like, Is it good? It's probably solid. It's probably okay, but yeah, just from a flavour perspective, I really don't like it. So we should have the alt UR and one more UR to go in this box. Obviously, we're hoping for a sweeping daggers. Oh, and obviously the chrome. We should be getting that. Inspiring song. Just another really like unassuming solid piece within chaos, any sort of chaos character. Just as a 1/6, that is a breaker 1 or +1 to your check or +1 speed. Just very versatile. Nothing too exciting, but does some cool stuff. Yasha, probably better than I'm giving her credit for. Just racks up a lot of damage. Is okay, not my favourite character, but she's probably pretty good. Widogast Web of Fire, I think, is one of the good ones in those spell decks. Just being able to constantly burn 2, having that powerful 3 outlet, I think is really solid. So yeah, if you're doing the spell thing, I think Widogast Web of Fire is going to be one of those ones you want to be doing. So yeah, we've got this is 4 left. We got a Beauregard. And we've got a Survivor of the Fittest. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to be playing backup stuff for this to be a thing. Soothing God's Rage. I was really confused in our initial review of this one. Like, why have they made it 4? Why not just remove a character? I want to be able to remove their early things. And obviously, someone pointed out it's because Ghidorah exists, which is sad. But it does mean you can sort of work around that if you want to and start giving Ghidorah pamphlet counters and therefore then using this to remove the Ghidorah heads, which is kind of funny. Probably not good, but funny. So if you've got a local Ghidorah player, just turn up with your 4 Soothing Rob's Rage, 4 Spreading the Word, I think it's called, whatever the pamphlet counter card is, and ruin their life. And then hopefully they'll never play Ghidorah again because that character's cringe. Looks like we've got an ultra rare here. We've got a Jester. And there we go, Sweeping Daggers. This box has been fire. So yeah, I don't need a refund on this box, Gary. This one's a good one. So yeah, we got our first one. We need 3 more of the buggers. So hopefully we get maybe 1 or 2 more in the case. Yeah, I don't know how good this card is going to end up actually being when it comes to the meta. It's strong, right? It's statted very well as a 5 mid for 4 on a 4 diff with a 1 low block. Like, those aren't embarrassing stats. Being able to remove a dagger to burn 1, again, a nice little kind of extra, not that big a deal. But that top blitz of removing the attack to gain all the abilities on it, it's going to really depend on what point in the game it's at, what attacks your opponent has checked, or what they're actually playing in the deck, like whether their enhancers are actually worthwhile getting rid of or using. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to play out. I haven't really tested with it yet. I suspect it will be strong, but I suspect also it's probably not quite as strong as people think it might be to begin with. It's sort of my hot take on that card, but we will see. We have the Chris Smith of the Arashari, so his main for next year. And then we've got a Curious Tea Preparation. So again, probably if you're doing backup stuff, this is one of the good ones in there. And in theory, this should have an alt art UR in it. But if it doesn't, then it's still a good box so far, right? Because in theory, I think it should be 1 alt UR and then either a character or an SR, but we will see. No. So we've been gypped on this box. So we got a Not Brave and then a Peerless Footwork. Again, a solid just +1 stats if you're doing that thing, and like if you're playing a brawler, it's probably going to be solid. But realistically, can't overly complain about this box. So box 1 has been pretty good. These are probably the 2 main ultra rares I was looking for from the set. In fact, these are the 3 main ultra rares, just because those are the things I've been immediately built. And getting the second Violent Animus shot again, one of the secret rares I'm very much looking for. Harness Undeath is a cool one. And then Spell Seal, I think, is going to be a solid piece if I want to do the spell stuff. And then these are fine. So, yeah, pretty good box overall, I'll be honest. I don't think I missed anything in terms of like all our characters and stuff. But yeah, decent box one. But obviously, it's time for box two. Let's move that out of the way. Just do a little bit of admin here. Right. So, let's see what boss we get in this one. And we get the Laughing Hand. So I think this is especially one of the harder ones, if I remember rightly. I can't remember, there was like a difficulty rating they've given them on the sort of the website. But yeah, I think the Laughing Hand was supposed to be one of the harder ones. But so let's get these out. Obviously hoping for another Sweeping Daggers. 4 in the case is probably wishful thinking, but you know, we can hope. We can hope. Obviously, I'm assuming the chrome probably going to be in this one. We've got a Pike, and then we got another Special Forces Elite. Nothing much in that one. I do hope we do pull some of the art URs, just because I would like to show them off, because I am a big fan of the artwork of them. We've got a Vex, and then we've got a Rip Apart, which again is probably okay if you're doing the rage counter thing. Just, you know, you're probably doing throws on Grog is the most obvious thing to be doing with him, really. So just like this, getting throw, guaranteeing some damage. And then if they use, like, if you can combo it, if you can do it, and like the combo is fine, but nothing necessarily to worry too much about. Just the fact it can be a 3 mid-6 throw in the rage counter like characters is probably enough. We got a Grog, and then we've got the Shape Changer skill. Oh no, we didn't have this one. So again, flipping stuff for +1 speed, and then drawing cards after it's unflipped. If you're doing the sort of flippy unflippy thing, it's probably okay. Again, probably not too exciting. But just being able to draw a card when you unflip it, if you've got multiple ways of unflipping cards, is going to be totally reasonable. We've got a Not Brave, and then we've got a Grasping Cat's Claw. Yeah, another one of those throws if you're doing the throw thing, and like the spending momentum to commit 3 face downs is pretty solid. Like most people's stages become pretty face down pretty quickly. So yeah, just the momentum for stun 3, pretty solid. Although, you know, they're just going to blow them up to their weapons clash and what have you, but still. You know, 1 momentum for stun 3 is a pretty decent rate. We got ourselves another Vex and a Collateral Damage. This is a solid piece that you can like think about main decking. Like, there's enough assets to consider this, or maybe like a sideboard thing. But just being able to remove this in a spell or weapon like decks, just to get rid of those problematic assets, like, you know, a VME or something, and just having a real deadlock against those asset-based decks, especially if Tarion becomes an actual thing, then, you know, this is the sort of card that, you know, is going to be useful in those weapon spell decks. So we haven't started off as hot as we did in the first box. It was all ultra rares to begin with in the first one, but this one has started off slow. We've got ourselves a Beauregard and then a Bellow of Rage. So yeah, probably okay in those rage counters, or in those brute characters, so like the Grogs and the Ashes of the world. Like, it's a fairly steep cost to be +1 hand size, but being able to always pick up a copy of I Would Like to Rage is probably going to be solid, or picking up, the signature kind of Grog's Rage type card. Again, you're probably going to play copies of it, maybe, but yeah, removing a foundation like speed building yourself one and having to spend a momentum for it is a fairly high cost. We've got an Essex, and then we've got a Hunter's Ally. This one's a nice one, so a little bit of a pseudo reprint of Command Pigeon Flock, which is nice given Command Pigeon Flock is just rotated. Like building ally cards, so you can build in, if I don't know if there's any ally assets, I'm sure there are. Ally, obviously, foundations, ally backups, no cost to it, and as a 4 high 5 with nice ally ranged weapon keywords, and with the XP if you are a warden, but like you don't necessarily need to be, like just being able to build, as long as you're doing ally stuff, being able to build one in is a pretty nice little value package you can have going on with that one. So for those that are going to miss their Command Pigeon Flocks, which I think is going to be many people, a Hunter's Ally is a reasonable replacement for it. Oh, looks like we got something shiny again in here. Oh my word. Well, Gary, I don't need a refund because I did open a Chrome. Wow. So, yeah. I wasn't expecting that one. So we've got a Frozen Spray as our rare, but that's not very interesting at all. And I need to get a sleeve and put this in immediately. So I will be right back, chat. Do bear with me. So this is Jester number 6. I'm just going to message my compatriot from Universus. I don't know whether he's watching actually. Yeah, so locals, we've been pretty good when it comes to chromes. So I'm just going to hold this up to the camera a little bit, just so you get a little bit of a better view. Yeah, wild. Not Percy, so we'll just throw this one out. That's what I wanted. But yeah, let me just try and get in the camera. Sorry, just trying to get a better shot for you guys. I'm really failing at this, and I do apologise. Bear with me. Please hold caller. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so we got Jester number 6. And you just put that in the sleeve carefully, and then into the top loader, because we definitely want to take care of that one. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that, but I will take it. So yeah, Gary, we're good with refunds. Yeah, so we need to get the back more in the camera shot. Yeah, so my friend Harry opened a grog the other day, and now we've had that Jester. I'm a bit all confluffled now. So we've got a Caleb and then a stabbing dagger. I think this is a pretty solid rare. Like, quite often this is just going to be a 5 low for 5 on a 3 diff. With a 1 low block, like very quickly they're going to have the 15 cards in discard pile. So in those weapon decks, I think that's a pretty solid one, especially in something like a Vex, whatever which way around it is. The dude that's wanting to pay lots of attack to get that damage wrapping up. Yeah, I think it's a very nice 3 diff. So I think this is No Mercy Percy number 5 for me. But again, a very nice card. So yeah, I mean, obviously I was waffling about getting a chrome, and obviously it's just bluster, you know, I really expect it, so I'm a bit kind of, I don't know what to do now. I actually opened the chrome. We got a pike, and then we got an enchanted weapon attack. So again, a nice thing. I don't know how many good weapon assets there are though. Obviously there's the vestiges, some of which are going to be weapon assets, but how good this card actually is. But it does have a 0 mid block, so you know that's always got something going for it. Yeah. Tarian, and we got another Cabal's Roaring. I think that might be my play set of that one too. So we've had 2 duplications to the first box. Hopefully we can get the old Sweeping Daggers duplication. Yeah, I really like Cabal's Roaring, but you know, you don't want to necessarily play 4 of them. You probably play 2 if you're in the Inventor Thief archetype. Fathom Blade Binding. So this is big. Is it good? I don't know. Like, it's very hard to block stuff with it. But it's very weird. So it's got a really nice block modifier with plus of 0 mid. But if you do block with it, then your block modifiers get +1. So yeah, I don't know how much you're going to see that serendipity play, but it's it's a coolish one. But yeah. We've got another Keyleth, and then another Survival of the Fittest. Yeah, I'm trying to think of just how many chromes we have had between us all locally. Yeah, it must be getting up towards 10. We've had some pretty good luck, to be honest. Oh, looks like we've got an Alt-Art, and we've got an Alt-Art Scanlan's Hand. I really like this card. This is really actually, I'm not a huge fan of this Alt-Art specifically, but I think this as an action is really good, like that sort of Blood Curdle replacement, but also can just commit down their asset you need to commit, or you know, their VME or their Problem Foundation. And that card pool response is actually pretty strong, especially like if you block with it, then you've got that card pool response to either you sort of negate their damage, and conceivably build it down if needs be. But yeah, I think Scanlan's Hand's going to be a really solid one. I think a lot of decks are going to want to play that one, and I think it's totally main deckable. Like Blood Curdle generally wasn't main deckable, but I think Scanlan's Hand is. I think it's good enough that you can happily main deck that card, because you've always got the buyout of committing, like I say, committing down their best asset or foundation. Yeah, going to be good in Scanlan. Pact of Wrath is nice, I think. Yeah, again, another little bit of momentum hate on the death symbol. Really cool artwork. I mean, that's something I do like in this set. I do enjoy the artwork in the set. Like, I'm not really a big anime sort of kind of guy, so it being a bit more sort of D&D-ish themed, like that's what I grew up on, like playing D&D when I was younger, so having that sort of theming I think is a bit better. I prefer it a bit more. I mean, for me, I'm more of a mechanics guy anyway, but yeah, I like the more sort of D&D theming of stuff. Oh, we've got our secret rare, we've got a Spellstorm. This is the payoff card and why you play spell decks. This card's really strong. I know Harry, one of my locals, has been playing, and I think Gary as well, been playing some Spellstorm decks. It is a 2-check, but it is very strong, and just at the end of the string will just kill people. So yeah, it is a strong one. And basically the main reason we're playing those sort of spell tribal decks. So I don't know whether the Chrome takes the spot of like the Alt-Art character. we will see. We've got a Curious Tea preparation. So again, that backup stuff. Got a Mock and then a Spirit Unicorns. This is gonna be good in the spell trials or another one of the payoffs like Spellstorm, because Crone Fog is good. Like, just card attacks that don't count towards aggressive are good and always have been. And if you do have ways of raiding foundations, then that's nice as that card pool response. But just as a 4 mid-5 with EX that just doesn't count towards aggressive is just a strong ability, and it's got that low block as well. So again, I think you're going to be playing it in those sort of spell tribal decks. Percy. Cleaving Swipe, I think we saw in the previous block as well. Mighty 9, I think, is one of those. If you are playing a Mighty 9 character, then it might be okay. It's that Deflect 2, but being able to draw 2 cards on defense is nice. But I think it's one of those cards that you're going to put into deck lists, and then they're going to be taken out during the sort of refinement and stuff. I think it's sort of one of those cards that is a. Yeah, I could put this in my deck, and then it just ends up on the cutting room floor, I think, a lot of the time. Okay, so we should have 2 more ultra rares, and then maybe an alt character. We will see. We've got a Yasha, and then a Resilient Charge. So I think you sort of have to be a champion to play this card. So it's a 6 diff, which is a bit more stomachable than a 7. But a 6 diff, 5 mid for 8 with stun 1, that just hates on their speed resets or speed hate, and then can flip to draw a card at any point because they're sort of priced to blocking this one. Yeah, it might be solid. Again, probably only playable if you are a champion and therefore can get the reduced difficulty on it, but might see some play if those champion characters are good. Just because it's a 10 damage, 5 speed with stun 1, so that ain't nothing. And I've got another ultra rare here. Looks like a Pumat, and then Inventor's Creation. Yeah, this is again. It's weird that there is this card and Sweeping Daggers in the set. Like, this one is just gains the keywords. I mean, I suppose it's more of an off zone, so it's a low zone. And you got Sweeping Daggers that removes and gains everything. So, but yeah, it's a cool one. I don't know whether I want to play this in Percy or not, I'll be honest. I don't know how much I like it, and also I'm sort of playing it on the death, which obviously that can't, but yeah, I think there's certainly stuff you can do with that. Yeah, as Gary Chai is saying, on block it can be Gain Breaker, and then you can remove Gain Stun, EX, Powerful, whatever you need. So there are moves you can do with it. Like I said, I think if it was in the set on its own, it would almost shine a bit more, but the fact that there's Sweeping Daggers in the set as well is a bit of a weird one. No, you cannot gain Deflect. So because Deflect is something because you can't put it into your card pool without it gaining Deflect. So you can't play it into your pool and say, well, I'm now going to respond to move so I can gain Deflect, because the Deflect is what's allowing you to put it in your card pool. But you could certainly block with it and gain Breaker, or that's basically, I think, the only thing you'd need to do on block, or want to do on block. So again, we're not one of those Shoulder Toss. And then hopefully this should have an alt art character. It's sort of disappointing we haven't seen one so far, but we will see. Doesn't look like it. we've got a Vax and then a Widigas, Weber Flyer. So again, this is the burning them for 2. So we've been a little bit low on the old alt arts, I think. Like the first box I opened had an alt character and an alt ultra rare. So we've obviously just had one alt analyze both. But I guess maybe this took the spot of the alt art character. Yeah. I almost forgot that I opened it then for a moment, to be honest. Yeah, so let's just leave this on screen for a moment because, yeah, so this is obviously the first Chrome I've opened. And obviously I look a bit silly now for ragging on Jester. I almost feel like priced into playing her, having opened the Chrome. But yeah, so we're just going to leave that there while we move on to box 3. I don't know, can we put a second Chrome? I mean, I think that's going to get a bit greedy, but you never know. You never know. So our boss is Lorenzo. I have no idea who this is. Yes, hello Hitch, welcome to the chat. Yeah, so yeah. Maybe Jester hated the fact that I was saying I didn't have a character, and now it's like, well, now you've got to play me because you opened the Chrome. So that sounds like conceivably a very Jester thing to do. So as we go through, another Yasha, and then we've got the Carnival Barker. So, yeah, not one I've really looked at, but actually just sort of reading this card, this seems quite solid, like a commit to sort of guarantee your next check. If you're running, you know, if you've got some sixes in your stage, it's going to be solid. And then if you're playing an ally package, just being able to just remove this as a tenacious effect, discarding ally card, remove the damage to 1, I think is going to be a solid ability. So again, if you're playing an ally thing, that's probably going to be worthwhile. So again, we're hoping for more sweeping daggers. I think it would be greedy for hoping for a second Chrome, but you know, if one turns up, I'm not going to complain. Pike, and then we got another extended back roundhouse. So yeah, we talked about the one before. Again, solid, I think, if you're doing the Beauregard thing, if you're playing face downs in your card pool, then yeah, it's going to be good. But you really need to be doing that a lot to justify that too. Because like if you're just building one from this at the end of the turn after you've echoed this, like it isn't really doing a lot. But if you're getting 2, 3, 4 cards from doing this, then I think that's going to be worthwhile. Lady Kima, and then a keeping of that. Yeah, again the better version of Can't Escape Me that we wanted. And then we got a Mighty Gathering. So yeah, this is going to be again probably part of those ally packages. Can just come in for a whole bunch of damage and does count itself. So at bare minimum, this is a 4 low 4 and a 4 diff, so which is not exciting but not horrid. And then as long as you can maybe get 2, it's like a 4 low 8, which you know is pretty strong. Yeah, we've seen Tongue Whip kill with those sort of stats. We've got a Vax, and then we've got a To the Grave. So yeah, this is again another sort of backup payoff. I don't think it's necessarily one of the greatest backup payoffs, because it sort of works against other ones. Like you discard a backup to kill theirs, to then give this 2 speed. But just if you've got like, I don't know, 4 backups in your stage, if you're doing that thing, just being able to then give this powerful 4 is going to be strong. Like, you know, but not. I think the Harness on Death is the backup payoff you're looking for, not necessarily that, but that might be an okay piece. Yep, we definitely need cards for people having a wee on them. Got another Percy, and then a Warden's Protection. So this is the one that is the really sweet alt art from you can get from your local play, which I managed to pick up some from this evening. So I'm probably going to, if I ever play this card, I'm going to play those ones rather than those. But you know, Inspired Design is I think a really nice piece within those Percy sort of tech decks and anything else doing removing, even like a Rodan. Just flip to look at the top card of a deck is basically cheating. Obviously it's just a one-off, and that does have a very real deadlock if you're doing the remove card stuff. So you always like to have like something to punish deadlock in your decks, and that's a good one. Like, you know, in a Percy or a Rodan, you can certainly trigger that multiple times on an attack, so it can be a lot of stats. I got another key death and then a bad news bullet. So yeah, this one I don't know how to feel about. I keep putting this in and then taking out of decks. It is a 6 diff, but it is a 6 high for 6 with stun 2, with again good keywords, range, tech, and weapon. And then if they're 10 health or less, it becomes a 6 high for 12, and it's got a 1 high block. I should probably give this more of a try than I am currently, because I think this might be strong, but it is a 6 diff. But it can just be a lot of damage, and it's effectively 8 speed for 6 damage, and it could be 8 speed for 12 damage. So yeah, I think probably worth trying, just because it's just huge, and they need to sort of sell out to block that, and then all the rest of your cards get them. So not brave. Jaunty Trickster we talked about before. Tinker's Touch is going to be another one of those sort of parts of that Percy tech package, or possibly even on the weapon package as well. So this is like one of those cards you sort of have to play in Percy just because it's got the tech keyword and you need sort of as much fuel as you can get. But just being able to flip this, removing a card, conceivably triggering combined firepower, and then give your tech weapon EX2 powerful for your stun 1, like all of those things are nice to have. So like you know, you're playing a number of copy those in Percy because you sort of have to, but you might well be playing them in other decks that are playing tech or weapon packages. Got a Lura, and then we got a Blessed Metal. Yeah, again, in life gain decks this is okay. Like it's a little underwhelming if but it's okay. Like a 4 mid-4 that draws your card as long as you've gained health. So I'm gonna say Lady Chemo, I think, is the one you sort of have to play. This is your second attack, and then if you're a maximum, which is conceivable, this could be a 5 bid 5. It's okay. It feels a bit underwhelming as an ultra, that one. Like, again, if you're playing like a Lady Chemo or some of those lines that's doing life gain, that sort of stuff, then yeah, it might be solid. But again, just a little underwhelming, I think, at the ultra rare for me. Hey, we got the alt art. We actually got an alt art character. So I do really enjoy the alt art characters in this set. I think what they've done with them is the best they've done with alt art characters so far. Trying to get you a better view of that. Just the texture, the patterns in the backgrounds, I think are really nice. Sadly, it's not Percy, but I will get over that. But yeah, I really, really enjoy the alt arts for the characters in this set. I think that, like, with the ultra rares and the secret rare sort of alt arts, I understand that they're not necessarily be to everyone's taste, but I can't imagine people not liking these alt art characters. Like, that would be a huge surprise to me if people just don't like them. That would just be weird. And then this one, I think, is going to be killing a lot of people. So this is sort of the payoff almost for Tarion. Just as a breaker 1/2 low block is solid enough to begin with. A 3 high 6 and a 5 diff is okay. add in powerful 5. Like if you generate any amount of momentum, this is killing people. And then like he's obviously going to be playing a bunch of assets. So, you know, this could be easily like a 10 high for 20 in Atarian pretty quickly. So, yeah, this again, a card to be very aware of because it is going to kill some people. And you don't even necessarily need to always be doing the asset thing hugely. Like you might just have your own ways of putting speed in it, and then it's just because it's a breaker one with powerful 5, which is often going to be just good enough. But I saw it was a grog and then a holy mace beam. Yeah, it's okay as a lead off if you're doing spells on the water symbol. Like if they're, you know, at the beginning of a string, this is conceivably going to be a stun 3, and then if they block it, you get to carpool stun them, stuff them. So it's fine if you're doing, like I say, a water symbol spell character. It might be something you want. See, look. So we're going to help or harm. Is okay, but let's just compare the characters, right? So Caduceus, not one of my favorite characters, like in terms of the words. I think this might be like one of my favorite kind of arts on the character. Like I really like how the character looks and this is really nice. And then this just knocks it out of the park. Like, you know, why would I ever play with this? So when I'm going to play Universus, I'm going to play this. Like, this is so much better. And this is good, right? There's nothing wrong with this. This is a really nice piece of art. It's a really nice card. This is just better. This is so much better. So, yeah, I really like the all art characters. I don't know if you could tell. Got something shiny. And we got the non-alt art Scanner's Hand. Again, same things apply. I think it's going to be good. I think people are going to play this card. I think it's going to be solid. The end. And we've got another something shiny. And we have a Hooligan's Mockery alt art. Nice. Again, so cards that might have some legs in, say, a Shoto 4. Again, sealing stuff is nice. One Eyebreaker one is nice. It gains a bunch of damage. It is a 2-check, but again, I think it's worth it. It's a shame it doesn't have the range keyword. Probably deliberate because of Shoto 4, but I think you could still even play that in Shoto 4, like just because it seals 2 stuff and it just means you're backing up your stats. So yeah, I think it's going to be good if you're doing the Shoto 4 thing, and probably in Mollymock as well. So I really liked the Elemental Orb just as a playful card. Like, this is probably up there. Like, I'm very glad that that UVS didn't go all in on dice rolling like a certain other card game company did on their sort of D&D theme set. But this is just enough to just have that little kind of D&D D6 dice chucking sort of homage almost. And it's not the most powerful card. Like, I'd be very surprised to see this in any sort of tournament decks, but this is a perfect kitchen table like card. And like, if you're playing like 1s and 2 checks, then this becomes a lot better, although it's a 3 diff, so it kind of then isn't. But it's just really cool. I'm probably going to play some decks with this card in. Not a competitive deck, but I think this is the perfect amount of dice chucking stuff to put in this set, and I think it's really cool. Got something shiny. Gonna scan learn, and then Earthbreaker. Nice. So we got our secret rare of the box. So first one of these so far. So yeah, this is a nice one. It's the haymaker of the set, right? Like every set has its haymaker. It's 3x5 with stun 2 on a 5 diff that draws you a card. Yeah, this. It's nice. It's not like crazy powerful, but I think on symbols, especially where you're able to draw some cards, like maybe on like low hand size characters that maybe aren't going to be outbuilding your opponent, so you're basically always going to trigger the draw a card. I think it's just solid. Like again, not crazy powerful, but good, and I think certainly will see play. Like, you know, there's been talks obviously people have mentioned in Pony, just because Pony obviously draws like a bajillion cards. Not convinced, but I wouldn't be shocked. We've got a Mollymok, and then we've got our normal art Hooligan's Mockery. Nice. So we should have. So yeah, so here we've got our secret, our character, and our ultra rare. So yeah, just that first box that kind of was a bit off on that. So we should have 2 more ultra rares in this box, hopefully. Got a Beauregard, and then we've got a Show of Strength. So yeah, like commit for 3 damage is nice-ish, but on a 3 diff is okay. Probably works quite well with maybe if you're doing flash stuff. This is just one of the coolest arts in the set, which is a shame it's just on an uncommon. Like, you know, this is the sort of art that maybe could have been an ultra rare, just how cool it is, right? Sort of going through these commons, uncommons pretty quickly, just because I've got a lot of them to go through. Got a Jester. Yeah, we don't want you. Look, we've got a better one. No, sorry. And then we've got a Spira Conflux, so the mage vestige. I think this is really good in the mage characters. Just being able to have your spells not being able to be flipped and not having them yeeted out the card pool. Yeah, I think is really solid. And then, like, sometimes you can commit their character, which is going to be good. So yeah, I think just that protection of your attacks not being able to be discarded from the card pool, plus that +1 damage on all of them. I think if you're doing, as long as you're a mage or warden and doing the spell stuff, which obviously is some requirements behind it, right? But I think you just play that card because it's just going to be strong. We've got a Keyleth, and then Science Bros. Actually, yeah, I haven't opened one of these yet. Wow, this is like 3 boxes in, and this is our first Science Bros. And I need 4 of these buggers because this is really good. This is really strong. Yeah, like whether that's Percy, whether that is Rodan, like this has got a lot going for it. Like just a free +1/+1 whenever you remove a card. Heck, even in Nick Reagan, I was playing it this evening, and sometimes you can commit to draw a card if you need some more gas. It's just free stats and everything, and then you casino some other bing bongs, and then you get some more free stats. It's bonkers good. You only need 4. It's unique, and it's really good that it's unique because having multiple days in play would be ridiculous. And we're going to Doty. Yeah, probably a good one in Tarion, right? Again, a really cool art. I'm just not really much of an asset gamer, so I'm sure Darrington, whatever it is, yeah, Tarion Darrington is going to be good. I don't know if it's a character I'm ever going to play. Just not really my jam. But just that ability on it to say, actually, this can't one-shot kill me. You know, really dunks on the sort of Deku one-hit kill deck, so I'm okay with that. It looks like we've got our last ultra rare. And we got the frog bagpipe cacophony. I think this is my fourth one of these. It's the one I've opened the most. Again, it's doing backup stuff. It's not really my jam. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like a 5 high 5 that confirms your next check with a nice block on it, and then has some backup text that might be relevant. Doesn't. This is probably one of the least exciting ones in the set for me. Like, it's just, yeah. Throat sitter, crazy. Like, yeah, I'm much more excited about this card, this uncommon, than I am this ultra rare, which is a shame. So in theory, that's all our sort of hits on this box, other than obviously the second chrome are going to fall. So yeah, I think these ones will just be rares from here, but maybe not. We never know. Got a Fjord, and then we got a Jarrett. So yeah, this is the combo with Vex, I think. Vax, one of the two. Again, I can remember which one. So, you know, so that's the add each card pool, they block your attack, you then build it back down. And then our last one of this box, so our third box. And then we'll just have a quick recap of everything we opened. And our last is a Tusktooth Screw. So this is just good even if you're not a brawler or champion, because being able to rummage, discard a card, draw a card is good. Just having that as a once per turn. Obviously it's not quite Botan's coaching, because you can't just do it for free. Discarding a card is the cost, so you can't just have flip draw be on Botan's coaching. And then sometimes being able to flip and ready the thing you really need to ready if you get blocked is okay, but just like a lot of the power in that card is that top enhance. So I think it's, again, a very solid one, especially if you're a brawler champion. But even if you're not, I think it's possibly good enough anyway. So yeah, that's all our rares on that one. So yeah, those are the hits from this box. Not quite the same as good a box as the other two, but we did get all our character, which was very nice. So yeah, let's go over the sort of shinies we've got from the three boxes. So we won't worry too much about the rares. They're the least exciting part of the boxes. So yeah, in terms of our alt arts, we've got our Scanner's Hand, we've got our Violent Anima Shot, and then we got the secret rares. We've got these two, and then we've got an Earthbreaker, and then we've got our Hooligan's Mockery, and then we got our two characters. So yeah, obviously I can't complain at all. I opened a Chrome Rare. I'm pretty happy about that. And then, although we only opened one Sweeping Dagger, so I'm going to complain. Lol. So yeah, so nice. But we did get another Art Violent Animus, so very nice from that one. We've got our three secret rares up here. So we got what? Let's see. Yeah, so we got our single Sweeping Daggers. So you've got a couple of the roundhouses. Let's put this over here. Honestly, doing some reordering. So yeah, so not a bad haul from 3 boxes really. Obviously we would have liked to open 4 of those, but you know, can't always have those. But yeah, we got a couple of Scanner's Hands, a couple of Healer's Mockeries. Yeah, I think we've got 5 of these now. And I think we might have a place at Arkham Ruins. I think that's my 3rd Earthbreaker. I think it's my first of these 2. Yeah, so we got our second Art Violent Animus, which is really nice. Getting the Scanner's Hands are very nice, and yeah, this is obviously the cream of the crop. Once again, we'll show this off to the camera before we log off the evening, because it is late over here. Yeah, so just the number 6. Oh, trying to get it away from the glare, man. That's nice. That's very nice. So yeah, awesome. Right, well, thank you very much, all of you, for tuning in and watching me crack some packs. Hopefully this will go up on YouTube, so if you are watching this on YouTube, the usual, thank you very much for watching. Do all the like, comment, subscribe stuff. Obviously, we will be back here on the channel on Sunday, in theory. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll talk about something. So me and Brett, we're back for our usual podcast, so 9 p.m. UK on Sunday. But other than that, much love. Thank you to everyone. And if anyone needs a Just to Chrome, let me know. Lolo. But yeah, peace out.